Hello, welcome to the 40K bunker. I'm Andy. Today we've got something a little bit different for you. We've got an army showcase. If you like what we're doing here, smash the like button if you're like more of this. Today I've got Oz with me here and his orcs. I've known you as a guard player for decades.
Yeah.
Decades.
I have been a guard player for decades.
What's that mess about?
Well, it's almost guard, really. This is the same amount of vehicles.
Right, so we're going to go through three bits and pieces, unit by unit, see what you've done with this lovely looking army. We'll start at the top. We'll start at the bottom.
Or the beginning.
Beginning.
The beginning at the bottom.
So, why orcs?
Well, the main question is, I guess, is why didn't I begin with orcs? Why have I
Well, you always had guard. You had guard, like all the guard armies.
Yeah.
Four guard armies before you did any other armies.
I think I dabbled in Tau, didn't I, when they first released?
Yeah. Okay.
I did a little dabble, didn't I think.
I'll give you that. Yeah.
And I mean, you played a lot of orcs.
I've always played a lot of orcs.
Because I remember the desert orcs.
Desert orcs.
The sniper stealthy desert orcs from White Dwarf.
White Dwarf. 20 years ago.
Yeah.
If you were there, you were there.
Yeah, I remember those.
But so what apart from me,
A huge inspiration in my life.
well,
You know.
you've stolen my clan name.
Yeah, I know, yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah, I guess
happened?
it was... We were playing a lot of Dawn of War 2 at the time.
Did play a lot of Dawn of War 2?
We played a lot of Last Stand, and I always remember... That was my first time I sort of fell in love with
You're
orcs.
always the big mech with the Mega Rumbler.
It was like, yeah, Big Mate with Mega Rumbler, and I just sort of... That was the first time I sort of got into orcs, and their humour, because I never really got it. I was just like, they're just stupid. I was like, they're just stupid.
You didn't understand.
They're not grim dark, you know, like most people say. And I was just like, oh, I don't know. And then, yeah, so I played a load of Dawn of War 2, really enjoyed the orcs in that. Actually preferred them over all the others.
They were probably the coolest faction.
Yeah. And then I did some of the campaign stuff with them, and I was like, oh, I'm actually getting a little bit more of the lore now of the orcs, and I'm like quite enjoying this.
So crumping.
Crumping,
It's all about crumping.
Crumping Umis. Yeah, so I really enjoyed that, and then I was thinking about it, what do I want to do? And then Dawn of War 3 came out, and a lot of people hated that game, but I actually really enjoyed it. And it was you could have like the characters, all your like key units. One of those, you could have like a Dreadnought as your key unit.
Okay.
So you could have like 3 key units, I think. I haven't played in a long time, and you had sort of like a commando boss. You could be like your sort of like HQ. I think it was. It was cool.
My street.
Yeah, it was cool. And then you could have like a dread. And I remember just having the dread and going, oh, my army can be like, my key units could be a Gorkanaut, a dread, and a commando. These are like the coolest things in the Ork Army. And I was like, how do I transfer this to the tabletop?
Okay. So, what was the first unit you built?
The first unit I built isn't actually in this army.
Oh, okay. It was a tester.
I went out and I bought 3 dreads.
So
do you remember them?
That's a commitment.
Yeah.
I do actually.
I bought 3 dreads and I gave them all 4 combat weapons.
Yeah, they were standard dreads. You
I didn't do anything with
much
them.
to them.
I think all I did was sort of paired up the combat weapons. So I had like, oh, this guy's going to have the 2 pinchy claws, and this guy's going to have and then all the burst swords are going to go on one guy, so he's going to be my sword guy, and yeah, and they sort of like, I don't know, they didn't really work, and I still wasn't getting into it, and I just kept buying bits and bobs and commandos and having a go at converting stuff. And then I think it was the start of 9th, maybe, when I really went in. I think it was it. It might have been 8th. It might have been the back end of 8th.
Tournaments in 8th.
Yeah. And it was like, okay, let's have another go at these dreads. And I bought another one. And I was like, he needs a gun. He needs to be like holding a gun.
Had you done your Tau at that point?
The new Tau, yes.
Yep.
Yeah, I'd started doing Tau.
Obviously, if anyone's versed with things you've done in the past, there's little similarities between the way you build models.
Yeah.
So obviously, you know, you've
distinctive.
Distinctive. This is the way you build your arms and other bits and pieces. So okay.
But yeah, I remember doing, I did one, and I built the arms, and I was like, that kind of works. Quite like that. And it's like, all these other dreads can go in the bin because they're not going to be like this.
And that must have been around the time you were showing me the World War Z comic book stuff. The
Ashley Woods was
bits and pieces.
Like that was the inspiration.
You kept sending me screenshots of all these cool robots.
Yeah,
brambles and other bits and pieces, and they were epic. And
they were derpy, weren't they? They were orc derp, like big time orc derp.
I'm guessing you looked at a dread and you thought, this guy needs a head.
This guy needs a head. Yeah, that was the immediate thing. I was like, they need little tin pot heads that serve no purpose apart from moving this visor left to right.
We're getting away from it.
Yes.
So we should probably start somewhere. I would say we're going to start at the beginning. So should we look at your HQs?
Yes. Let's start with Ironfoot himself.
Ironfoot!
Ironfoot!
Ironfoot! Who's this bad boy in the middle there?
Yeah, so that's Ironfoot. He's a bit of a...
He's chunky, isn't he?
Yeah, he's a big boy.
That's definitely not a standard Warboss kit.
No.
What's going on with that?
Well, he needed to be big. He needed to be the big boy. Because the standard Orc Warbosses are just puny. They're no bigger than a Terminator half of them, are they? They're not very big at all.
Not that point.
No.
They got bigger.
Yeah, they're a little bit bigger now. But yeah, so I went with the Demon Prince kit.
Demon Prince?
Yeah, that's...
There's a Demon Prince under there?
There's a Demon Prince under there somewhere,
right.
Yeah. So, I suppose saying this now, there's actually a new Demon Prince, isn't there?
Old Demon Prince under
there. So he's
there.
technically an old plastic Demon Prince under there. So we have to call him old, because he technically is old now.
Old Ironfoot.
Yeah. But yeah, all I used was the torso and half an arm. I think that's all I actually used. All I wanted was his like 6-pack, his abs. That's all I needed. So yeah, he's literally the old Demon Prince, and I used, I think it's one of the Mega Knob heads from the Mega Armor heads, because it actually works quite well.
They're quite fat, good faces, aren't they?
Yeah,
like,
they're pretty big.
As orcs go.
And then it was just scratch bashing after that, like making him a little power plant on his back, some exhausts. But I didn't want him to be a war boss. I wanted him to be like a mech boss. You know, like he's in charge only because he knows stuff.
He knows stuff.
And also crumps stuff. So yeah, so he's like, he's the big bad mech boss of the Ironfoot clan. With his giant iron foot. That foot was a pain to make. That was just scratch built out of tons of tiny little bits of plastic card.
Done a good job.
I could probably find a picture of it somewhere. And the whole leather leg was just green stuff made into a boot, and that was about it. And just some robot arms. So yeah, he's the leader of the pack. What else we got? So he wasn't my first HQ. So my first HQ was the Deathkiller Wartrike. And I think that was just after they came out.
Yeah.
So I think we are thinking 8th edition, aren't we?
Yeah.
Because they all got that codex, didn't they?
Do you I remember you building that for back to 8th one of the tournaments.
Yeah.
Was it purposely built for a specific part of the army that you were?
Yeah. So it was literally built for a 1,000-point army.
Doubles.
Yeah, doubles tournament army. And it was literally how many dreadnoughts can I get in 1,000 points?
And that's why it looks...
That's why there's so many dreadnoughts.
Why it is a dread.
Yeah, yeah. So he was... I seem to remember I made him have as many like warlord traits and relics to try and represent the extra armour. So he had sort of like... I think he had extra toughness. And I think he had like a feel no pain or something to try and help represent the sort of like how big he is. Yeah, so try and represent like sort of his actual pure scale and size. And it's generally what I do to Ironfoot as well. So if I run him in a game, I normally find whatever warlord traits and relics will add
toughness,
wounds,
thematic size.
Yeah, strength. I'm not going to go with brutal and cunning or something. No, he's got to have the extra toughness or the strength or whatever. But that's very much dependent on whatever edition you're playing currently. So it doesn't.
Okay.
Just find whatever you can find in the book to represent it.
Yep.
I've got sort of like a plethora of other HQs.
Should we look at this other see, we're going through war bosses at the moment. So see, there's a much newer,
so
bigger armour.
Yeah, that's actually the newest, I think the most recent model in the army, actually. Newest kit in the army anyway, which is the new war boss kit. It's not very poseable, that kit, but if you cut the arms up enough, you can actually change the pose. I was just being awkward, really. I just didn't want it to look like everyone else's.
You cannot build a standard model these days.
No, I can't, no. It doesn't happen.
I'm trying to train him.
No.
It's hard work.
No, it's not. But no, I just changed the pose on the arm, gave him a little shield, moved the grot gunner around, so nothing too crazy with him, but really enjoyed painting him. Lovely model.
You've done a real good job of him. He looks awesome.
He's still got millions of tubes and hoses and wires though.
He looks tough. Alright, so we've got these other HQs we've got knocking around, and obviously it's a mech themed force.
So we've got plenty of mechs.
So, what will we go for? Let's look at your shock attack gun first.
Yeah, so it's probably the best model in the Ork Army. It's gotta be.
Gotta like a shock attack gun.
It's so good. I don't care what they do to the rules. It's just great. It's just, I'm either gonna do nothing or I'm just gonna delete your entire unit.
It's down to that real random quirkiness from some, like, you know, that we had in Dawn of War 2 and Last Stand. We had some really random stuff going on. I mean, there was never a shock attack gun, but it's that sort of crazy.
Oh, God, I wish there was. And it was a bit like the old bubble chuckers.
Yep.
Because that was the mini game of the old bubble chuckers was so much fun. And just rolling dice and be like, I've got one shot, but it's strength 6, -6, flat 6 damage. And you're like, oh, this is so good.
You did love that stuff.
Yeah, that was fun. Yeah, that was the original sort of incarnation of the Orks that I started playing around with. But yeah, the shock attack gun, I made it like a giant laser pointer. I think it's just like an overcharged laser pointer.
Okay.
And stuff gets teleported from space.
Teleported from space?
Yeah, so he just goes, I want the stuff there, lads.
Okay. So
and they just push some stuff on the teleporter and it just gets zapped down to the planet.
Okay, I used to think it was more like rocks. You know, he was laser guiding where they were dropping the rocks, but okay, we're teleporting stuff to that place.
Yeah,
that hurts more.
So it could be like a load of balloons.
Well, it could be a rock.
Or it could be a Land Raider. It drop a train on someone.
How do you like them apples?
Well, you know, when it really goes big,
it's big.
The teleporter backfires and teleports the ship. So there's a teleporter in space, but the ship's gone.
Game over, man. Yeah, game over.
It's all got sucked back into the loop. But yeah, so he's just got like a big electrical throw switch, and I made him out of, I think it was a mega knob, plastic mega knob, and I think it's like a looter gun. It was like the arm from the looter, and the gun barrel was the exhaust from the battle wagon.
Oh yeah, I can see. Yeah. Maybe a las cannon in there.
Yeah, there were some random bits in there, but
the exhaust.
He was a lot of fun. I've had a lot of fun with the shock attack gun. And the other one is the Ever Big Mech, which is probably one of the most recent ones again that I built.
That's the Blackreach.
Yeah, so that is a war boss from Blackreach. So that actually goes to show how small he was in comparison to some of the newer models. But yeah, I just literally took the torso and the arm and just rebuilt everything else on him. Changed all the legs around, some new legs. Because that actually made him bigger. If I actually left the original legs...
He has got really short legs.
He's got really short legs. And as much of like you want to mound the base up and have him on some heroic rocks or something.
Still got little legs.
He's still got little legs. So yeah, I changed the legs around, changed the feet. I think he's got one boot from the original model. One of the boots. So he's got his robot leg in a boot. So yeah, and he had... Dead Shiny Shooter, which was just a big shooter bits, and Teleport Blaster, which I made look like a weird welder on his shoulder or something.
Yeah, you've done some real good work on the paint on that. I really like the light kind of sourcing.
It was my first attempt at it, so I'm getting there with it.
I think you've done a good job.
I think it looks alright. I think it do. But yeah, that was for, along with that newer war boss, that was for a doubles event again, which I went with a good friend of ours, Alex. So that was great fun. Cool.
How'd you do there?
We won Best Army. Again. Again!
And then, we've got a load of other mechs. We got other mechs?
No, I think that's it for the mechs. We got a random assortment of mechs, so we got, there's another Mega Armor mech down there, which is one of my originals again. I think that might be one of the only models that survived from the original
Yeah.
Ork Army.
Oh, it was custom force build guy, wasn't it?
Yeah,
Yeah,
I think he was
yeah,
one of the
got
only
one.
ones that actually survived from the original army. And then I've got just some like normal mechs carrying the toolbox about and stuff. And that's just made out of the knob kit, really. And that's it.
Oh, okay.
Look at some other stuff next, shall we? You got some troops.
Troops?
Troops!
You got troops?
Boys!
Boys?
Lads!
So, next we'll move on to the troop choices.
Yeah.
And it's like a light sprinkling of troop choices.
Yeah, I generally stayed away from boy spam. Is that the right word?
Boy
for
spam?
it? Boy spam?
Spammo boys.
Spamming boys. Yeah. When I started the army, that was generally the thing that was happening. Everyone was just, oh, here's my big 30-man blobs, and they're jumping them all around the board. And I was like, well, that's what everyone's doing. That's not what I'm doing.
So you paid your troop tax, so
Yes.
you can take more dreads.
Yeah, I literally just taxed the boys, yeah. And like me, as usual, I couldn't just leave them as the boys from the sprue.
So what have you done to those boys?
So every single one of them has the helmet heads, which are the ones that have like the little ear flaps.
Oh, yeah.
And I shaved all of the ear flaps off.
Oh, I still just got tin hats.
Yeah, so they've just got tin pot hats. So every single one of them has a tin pot hat, which was a bit annoying because there's not many tin pot hats in the boxes.
No.
I think I've got like 30 or 40 of them, so that was a bit annoying. And yeah, everyone was doing combat boys with loads of attacks, and I was like, I'm not doing that. They need shooters. They need shooters.
Yeah, you learned from me.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they've got
from me.
guns.
Although I hadn't played Orcs really since 5th.
No, it's a bit weird because when I started, you stopped. There's only room for one Iron Foot.
Here is the baton.
Yeah, it passed it on to me. That was it. Yeah. So yeah, I just did those. I changed the shooters a little bit, so I added some little barrel extensions and put some
Insights.
like stocks.
Oh, stocks.
Yeah, I gave them little stocks because I think one of the shooters came with a stock. And it was just like a little triangle of plastic, really. And I really liked that one, so I kind of did that on all of them. Stupidly.
You mad lad.
Yeah. So I did that on all of them. And yeah, they're pretty basic. They're just normal boys, really.
Knob, big shooter.
No, they can't have big shooter, could they?
No.
Oh, there's a big shooter in the
A
squad,
knob,
yeah.
big shooter.
Big shooter, yeah.
Yeah.
And that was it. And also, I got forced to make some grots. I did some grots.
Forced to make
Yeah,
grots.
I was forced into grots, really, unfortunately. But I really enjoyed them.
Yeah, it's not your first dabble in grots though.
No, I didn't. I really enjoyed them. Annoyingly, though, again, for me, I didn't want just the normal grots. So I ended up buying mech guns, I think it was. I bought mech guns just because I wanted mech grots.
Yeah, they're cool. They're cool models.
They're nice sculpts as well, and to fit the theme, I thought, yeah, just dispersing the mech grots, like I think I bought like one squad of normal grots, and then I bought like 3 mech guns or something. I was like, I'll use the bits on something else. It'd be fine.
Mix them in. And,
Yeah, mix them in, and it just gives them a little bit more of an interesting vibe to them.
No, I'd have to say you grots look ace.
I really enjoyed painting them.
Yeah, you've done a real good job on that. Really happy with them.
I think it was the first time I actually tried to like blend some skin tones as well, which was
You don't really do blending.
which was a bit wild on grots. But
It's the time you do it, eh?
yeah, that's it. Yeah, I'm gonna go really ham and like really go intricate on the paint and flesh tones, and I'm gonna do it on grots. Yeah, that was stupid, wasn't it? And that's it for troops, really. I haven't got anything else. So yeah.
Talk about elites in a minute, I guess.
Yeah, we're going to elites. Not many of them either.
It's 2 short sections. I was expecting this.
All right, we'll look at some grots. Grots?
Grots.
Elites?
Elites.
Yeah.
So we've only got a couple of elites, haven't we?
Yeah, it's pretty sparse in the elite section because you can't have dreads in elites.
Shame, eh?
There's no elite dreads.
Shame.
I wish there was elite dreads, that'd be cool.
Shouldn't they make cans elites?
Yes.
Or
Cans should be elites.
split them off so you can have more.
Commando cans.
Commando cans.
Oh, that'd be so good. I really want commando cans. You know that'd be so good.
GW. You're listening.
Get on that, because we want it.
He wants it.
Yeah, take my money. And then let me convert them so they look different, because I'm not good.
And spend more money.
Yeah, and spend more money, yeah.
Yeah. Alright, so we've got a war banner.
Yes, or the big spanner.
The big spanner.
Yeah, so he's just, I really like the idea of him saying, go get the boss going, go get the war banner, and he goes off, and he goes, oh sorry, I thought you said the big spanner. So he's got the holy spanner.
Spanner.
Morks for Morks nuts.
Isn't it more like a, where is he?
It's like a wrench.
It's like a monkey wrench.
Yeah.
So it's more, isn't it more like Half-Life 2?
It's like a crowbar.
There's a crowbar and there's a monkey wrench.
Well, everything's a hammer for orcs, isn't it?
Monkey wrench was amazing.
Everything's a hammer and everything's a chopper. If you get something hard enough, you chop it. But yeah, he was just, I just wanted a wild banner because they were really cool.
Yep.
First time around.
Yep.
And they're actually really good for making the dreads hit better. Because it used to affect dreads. It used to affect everything.
Build that like around the indexes.
Yes, I think that was around the index time.
Mm.
Yeah. And that was it really for him. And then I got some commandos, and they're the really recent ones as well. So I got those from the Octarius. It was the Octarius box.
We bought a couple of boxes of Octarius.
Yeah, hence the terrain. That was our...
My box and your box.
Yeah, we both bought them just because we wanted some terrain and some commandos. So I've still got the Death Corps.
I'm still working on mine.
I'm hanging on for the Guard Codex for those.
I'm still holding on to them.
Yeah.
Ah.
But yeah, so I got some commandos. They're pretty much how they are in the box. All I did was, I didn't actually like the gas masks, so I ditched all the gas masks. And I just went for some of the normal heads. One of them's got like a commissar hat on or something. I don't know, but yeah, I only built 5 of them, painted 5 just for, it was like 9th edition for the secondaries. So running around.
Retrieving
Octarius data at that point.
Maybe Nakmund. Who knows?
At this point, yeah.
Who knows?
Depends when you're watching this. What they're retrieving. Nobody knows. We don't know.
Retrieve whatever the data is.
Yes.
The spangly, shiny data.
The gubbins.
The gubbins data.
Yeah, retrieving the gubbins. So that's all they were there for. I enjoy them. They're lovely models.
Yeah.
I'm glad they finally did some
nice
commando kits.
I'm currently hacking them up and putting them on the squig hogs.
Oh, you are, aren't you? Because we can't have commando cans, you're making commando squid boys.
I am, yeah.
Which would be cool.
One day I'll get them done.
Yeah, I'll get them on channel as well.
Right.
That's it for elites.
So that's elites. We've got one fast attack, really, so...
Yeah, we'll just
look
have a look at the fast attack. So, Death Copters.
Death Copters, eh?
There is only 2 of them because when I built these, you could have them as units of 1.
Again, you're looking at 8th edition.
Yeah.
So
there is actually only 2 of them. But again, I was like, actually, they've got the same wounds and the same toughness as a killer can.
Yep.
And that was, well, they did. They still sort of
do.
Toughness
5?
Yeah, they're still tough 5.
They're still tough 5. They've got 4 wounds on a copter.
Yeah, so they were close. But you could have twin big shooters.
You could have twin big shooters.
You can't now, can you?
No, you can't.
Yeah, so they haven't got used in a while because they've got twin big shooters, so I haven't got round to swapping them out for rockets. And also, I'd have to build an Ever one, and I really can't be bothered. They are cool, but I'm not building an Ever one.
You will.
I will, eventually.
You will.
When there's a reason to, I will, but at the moment there isn't. But yeah, they were really cool, they were fun to build, just killer cans really gave them rocket packs. Because what's more fun than a rocket pack on a can? Yeah, and like you said, they're actually quite similar, like toughness and stuff. Yeah, they don't have the save, but they had a 4-up. I think it's a 4-up save.
Yeah, 4-up. Yeah,
roughly a 4-up, and then 4-up and a 3-up and a little bit of toughness. It was
much of a muchness.
Much of a muchness, really. They're quite easy to just kind of swap them out.
Yeah. You know, I mean, they're flying cans. I mean, you're mad if you you mix that up.
Yeah, well, you're going to go, oh, what toughness are they? Oh, toughness 5. Oh, okay.
Oh, like those guys.
Yeah, like everything else.
Funny that, eh?
But yeah, that was them really. So they were just built out of the standard can kits, and I think I used some... It might have been some mech gun parts to make the jetpacks. I can't remember. There were some random bits thrown in. Oh!
Turbines from drop pods?
I think it's some turbines from drop pods, and I used the Grot Blaster as the engine exhaust. So I turned it round, and the outlet of the Grot Blaster was the main core of the rocket. So yeah, they were super fun, and that was it really. I haven't really found anything else in the HQs that's really interested me to build. Like, what is there?
That's the
It's all like buggies, isn't it?
Bikes, buggies.
Bikes and buggies. Buggies are their own thing. You can't really make a walking buggy. They're just not fast enough.
Squig hogs?
Yeah, but it's not a can, is it? It's not a robot anyway.
No.
And that's it for those kind of things, really.
Yeah. So,
heavy support.
Deep breath.
Oh no.
Here we go. Okay, so we're into this heavy support, and it's mostly cans and dreads, as I can see and know.
Yeah.
Let's start talking about this unit 3. They're more your little like your standard kind of dreads. I love these guys. I absolutely love the AK looking
double-barreled
AK. It blows my mind. Absolutely insane.
So they were actually the first dreads. So after the initial prototype dreads, these were the originals. So these were the 3 I made when I was like, they need guns. They need to have guns.
So what are they armed with?
It's in the current rules. They are 2 big shooters. So they got their double shooter, Scorcher on the arm, and just 1 claw. But that obviously just depends on what the rules are, and so that's what I went with at the time. And it's good. It still works really well. Like it's great.
All rounders.
Yeah, they're like all rounders. They kind of plunder up the board and do some shooting. And it was, I think the reason I kept going with big shooters at the time was because when I made them, the rules meant that you couldn't attack a unit off the first floor of a building. You didn't have like the vertical engagement range. So I needed some way of trying to pick off units in shooting that were high up, not just rely on the combat. So everything ended up getting armed with like big shooters, and like Scorchers, even them were range 8.
Yeah, it would have been.
So they weren't actually that great at that. So I ended up having to do big shooters. I really liked the original big shooter that was on one of the wall bosses. I think it was actually the Black Reach one, where he had it sort of like up in the air and it had like the 2 barrels and the little stock.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that was the one that I kind of looked and went, that's what I want it to look like. And I was like, that looks orky. It's not like gonna be crazy, it's gonna just look like an orc gun. And I was like, 2 big shooters, 2 barrels. Brilliant. And yeah, so they were just built on the new style really, the new template of dreads. So torsos were the same, feet were the same, just meddled around with the arms really. And that was it on those.
And
that sort of leads us on to the Scorcher dreads, doesn't it really?
Yeah.
We can go on to the Scorcher dreads. Because they're pretty much the most recent again, and they were, before I blabbered on about how they were made, there's a tutorial for that. So
should be a link about here.
Somewhere.
Here.
There. Martin, make it so.
Make it so.
Make it so number 1. But yeah, so they're pretty much same, and I was just like, these guys need giant flames.
I did. You know what? I saw the work in progress photos of these, and you absolutely blew me away. I mean, there's no words for how ridiculously good these guys are.
They're actually really fun to play with.
Yeah.
Like they're just, orcs can't shoot, but they can really burn stuff.
Should have been a salamander player.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah. But yeah, so we won't ramble on about those because you've probably seen those already. Plenty of pics of those about.
So the other unit we've got is the one with the rockets.
The Tank Buster dreads, yeah. So they were, after I built those initial 3, these ones were the ones that were most inspired by Ashley Woods.
Yeah, I can see
go back to Ashley
totally
Woods
see that.
because they were the most inspired. I saw, it was like an artillery mech or something that he designed.
Like artillery bramble or something.
Yeah, it had like just a cannon on its shoulder. I think I probably actually watched Commando at that point. I think it was Commando, and I saw the rocket launcher. I was like, let's gotta do it.
Epic.
I got to do a dread with a giant rocket launcher, and I just went with my original design. So I built the body the same, got to the arms, and went, what am I going to build a missile launcher out of?
What did you build that out of?
Just plastic card and tube.
Yeah.
It's literally like, and then I could just make it the size that I wanted it, and just cut loads of tube up, panelled it up. And I wanted to go with like the 2 arms.
Yep.
I just couldn't get that arm.
I
just couldn't get the arm to reach. Nah. I probably would have made it work, but it just looked stupid. Every single time I tried to move the other arm across,
there's a lot of chest in the way.
Yeah, it was like across his face, and yeah, I was just like, no, I give up. He's just gonna have a Mach 10 instead, and just Uzi people.
A one-handed rocket box and a Mach 10. I mean,
that's what you need, you know.
Yeah.
What else do you want?
If we can get some close-up shots of those Mach 10s, they're again, what's going on there?
Just Imperial Guard heavy bolter with a stick mag in the bottom. You can literally imagine them pulling it off a Cadian heavy weapon team and going, how do we get the ammo in? Well, we put a stick on the bottom, we just push the ammo
ram
up.
it in.
Yeah. And like big shooters, similar to a heavy bolter.
Yeah, no, totally.
Well, actually, no, not anymore.
Not anymore. It used to.
They used to be the similar.
Yeah, it's an old heavy ball.
Heavy balls
Always,
with
yeah.
damage 2?
Yeah.
Damage 2? Yeah.
Things changed.
Things changed.
They might have changed the game.
Yeah, by the time you're watching this, it could be anything.
Could be 11th edition.
Could be, oh god. No more.
Let's have another reset.
Yeah, let's do it all again.
Right. So we've got some cans. We've got 2 units of 3 here. I know you've got 8.
Yes, we've got some cans missing, so you won't see them in the pictures. Well, you might see some pictures.
Is that because
They're not here.
we've been sorting out tutorials?
Yeah, so there's a tutorial on the cans, which should be live now. It definitely will be live now. And that will be up here.
Or here.
Or here.
Or here.
Or here. Somewhere on screen, there will be a link to the Killer Cam video. But don't go watch that now. Obviously, finish watching this and then go watch that. But yeah, so those 2 missing. Actually, no, I've got more than that. I've got 9.
You've got 9?
I've got 9.
He lies.
Yeah, there's more. But yeah, so the Killer Cans, these were relatively old cans as well. And so they're about 2 years old, 3 years old, maybe, these cans.
So your initial concept.
Yeah, I did the heads, but these have aged a little bit compared to the newer ones. You'll see some of the newer ones. And I just went differently with the hands and reworked the arms. Because on these ones, you'll notice they don't have any hands. They're just a saw on a stick or a gun on a stick. Whereas my new ones, I went all in and gave them hands. And I tried to make them a little bit more.
I knew you were never quite happy with how these ones came out.
No.
You knew you could do better.
Yeah.
And you're a mad lad.
Yes. So I did. Yeah, I changed them up and I much prefer the new ones, but you know, it's a lot of work.
I don't know where you find the time.
No, I don't know.
No. Yeah.
And that's it, heavy sport.
Heavy sport.
There's a lot of it. It makes up a lot of points, but it's not a lot of units. But yeah, great fun. Love the dreads. Makes it a dread war. Shame we don't have any rules for dread war anymore.
It's okay.
It's okay.
It's okay.
Get there someday. The Speedy Boys got their day. We used to have dread war. And I suppose we go from what was heavy support, which is now actually Lord of Wars.
So yeah, we've got a Gorkanaut and we've got a Morkanaut.
Yeah, I couldn't have one without the other, obviously, because I need to pay homage to both Gork and Mork. Otherwise, bad stuff happens.
Actually, proud Gorka here.
Yeah. But yeah, you got to have both. And I think the Gorkanaut was actually from the initial stages of the army as well.
Yeah, he's quite an early, I remember.
He was an early innovation, wasn't he? Yeah, so I think at the time the Knight kit was rummaging around. And there was a lot of Ork players getting the Knight kit and just sticking some Ork Dreadnought bits on it. And like, they look cool. And I was like, I'm not going to do that, because I can't handle the legs.
So
the Knight legs are horrendous.
They're awful.
They're awful.
If you want to pose them, I mean.
I'm not saying I posed them at all. They pretty much just stood out a Knight would. But yeah, I was like, I'm not doing that. And I looked around and I was like, oh look, there's a Storm Surge. And when I looked at the Storm Surge, I saw that sort of rounded front on the Storm Surge. And I was like, oh no, that's the front of a can, isn't it?
It's a big can.
It's a big can, isn't it? And yeah, I bought a Storm Surge and turned the legs around.
There's a Storm Surge under there.
Yeah, there's a Storm Surge under there. Yeah, so I think I turned the legs around, built some feet out, some like Sentinel power packs or something. The arms were from the Defilers. I had some Defiler legs lurking around. I've always had Defiler legs lurking around. And yeah, they just built like the can head on. And then I was going to a tournament and I was going to take the Gorkanaut and a load of killer cans. And I submitted the conversion and I said, look, is this okay to use as a Gorkanaut? Because he hasn't got the big sort of line of sight blocking
open front
like between his legs. And I was like, oh, it might cause problems, so I'll check. And I emailed him in and they were like, yeah, it's fine, but where do the boys go? And I was like,
oh, yeah.
What do you mean, where do the boys go? And they were like, well, he's got to carry transport capacity. Where do the boys? You need somewhere for the boys to go. I was like, but I haven't got any boys. There's no boys.
No boys going in it.
No one's going in it. And they were like, oh yeah, but it needs to show the carry capacity. And I was like, oh for goodness sake, how am I going to do this? And I tried my luck a couple of times and they were like, they weren't having it. They were like, no, it's got to have a transport capacity. And I was like, well, I'm just going to give him a backpack, aren't I? He's going to have a shipping container on his back And I was like, that's where the boys are going to go. And I remember I think I built a shipping container, boiled it in water to bend it, and then chained it to his back. I didn't even paint it, and I sent it. I was like, can the boys go in there? And they were like, yes, that's where the boys can go. I was like, brilliant, great, cool. Painted the shipping container, glued it to his back. I was like, brilliant, that'll do. Great, thank you.
Job's a good one.
Job's a good one, yeah. And that was it, really. And I built him, and then, yeah, I was like, I need a Morkanaut. I can't just have a Gorkanaut, I've got to have a Morkanaut. And I just went with exactly the same philosophy. Just Storm Surge, bash the feet together. And yeah, he needed somewhere else for the boys to go, and I didn't want to just stick the container on his back, so I made it. So he's just picked it up and squashed half the boys into
Does it like he's crushing it, yeah.
Yeah. He's a lot of boys died in the picking up of that container. I kind of think that he kind of picked it up and there was a lot of like squelching and gore pouring out one end.
What's that crazy big laser going on?
Oh, I think that was the Storm Surge gun. Yeah, that was the Storm Surge gun, which was the... What is it even called? Not the Storm Surge gun, the Ork one. It's like custom Mega Zapper or something. I don't know. It's just the giant laser gun, and I literally just took the Storm Surge gun and just put a radar dish on the front, pretty much. You know, you got to focus all the Orky... Bream! Got to focus all the Orky know-whats into the middle to make it shoot bigger. And that's it, really. Just covering them in exhaust pipes and guns is pretty much what you do after that point.
Yeah.
And they're really fun. They're fun to play with as well.
Oh, I bet.
I really enjoy them. They are quite menacing. I guess they're super heavy now. I don't know how I feel about that.
Pay more tax.
Yeah, you're paying more tax again, but in the current rules, it's not too bad.
No, you get one back, don't you?
You get a couple of CP back.
2 CP?
Costs you 1.
Is it 1?
It's 1, yeah.
Oh, yeah,
They got the same army keyword.
Oh, yeah.
That's it, really.
That's it.
That's it. We will add some stuff to the army in the future, but for now, that's it. I'm not going to say how many points it is because I don't know, and it's pretty much irrelevant, really.
Is there anything actually in the working stage?
Some cans. Nothing exciting. I've got a paint boy that just needs painting. I think that's about it. I want to do some... I think I'm going to do some looters at some point.
Oh, yeah.
And the only other thing I probably would like to do at some point is a battle wagon.
Yeah.
But it's just designing an Ork battle wagon that can walk. Without looking...
Of course.
Yeah. It's got to walk. It's can't have wheels or tracks. This is not going to work. It needs legs.
Needs legs.
But then, like, how do I make it so it's not too wide or too big? Because it needs to sit within almost the same footprint, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Otherwise, it's going to get into all kinds of rules.
So if you've got any interesting ideas,
yes,
please let me know.
Yeah, let me know. Because otherwise, it's just going to be a crab. It's going to look like it walks sideways. Because it's like, and I'm going to drive around. Like, you imagine a battle wagon be driving sideways around the board. It should be a crab.
4th and 5th edition Land Raiders.
Yeah, that's it.
Drive sideways. So yeah, that's a lot, really.
It. Yeah.
I hope obviously I hope you enjoyed the video.
Yeah, it was fun. I enjoyed it.
Oh, me too.
I hope you guys did.
Yeah. Obviously, if you want to see more of this, again, like and subscribe. Show us, what you think.
We'll do some more. Yeah, if you guys like it, we'll do some more. We've got some other armies we can bring out. Yeah, we've got some interesting stuff we can do. We've always got your Crew army we can do. We've got my tower, which are a bit crazy.
Couple of fists.
Yeah, we've got
a couple of fists.
Ridiculous fist army that's just massive. Yeah.
So yeah, obviously, follow us social media. We're on Facebook, Instagram, all of the bits and pieces.
Yeah, thanks for watching, guys.
See you with the next one.
See you next time.